Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. Today, I'd like to break down and bring you an anecdote to one of the most difficult things we all go through, which is rejection. But before we start, make sure to smash that like button, share, and do subscribe, all right? So here's the thing. Now, this story goes back about 35 years ago. I was just starting out. I got my first job, and I was pretty much just a door-to-door salesman working on only commissions, right? So this is really the grunt work of the grunt work. There wasn't even a base salary, right? I was going door to door, knocking on different businesses, and I was trying to sell them piece goods. Now, in those days, it was very, very difficult to set up an appointment. And if I even was successful in setting up an appointment, most of the time, it didn't go fantastic. Now, I worked really hard that summer, and I overcame a lot of my challenges, right? You're going to people that you don't really know personally, and it's, you have to have some sort of confidence in being able to, approach those people. And secondly, you don't know the business itself. You don't know the materials. You don't know who's looking for what. You don't know if they're wasting your time, you're wasting their time, and all that stuff. So here I am, and finally I get this appointment with a potential buyer, and I sit down, and he was an older man, and he taught me some interesting lessons. It was really hard because at this point, most of the times I got rejected, it didn't really bother me, but this really bothered me. Like, he came in and he started challenging me. And he said, well, where are your colors? You're only showing me one color. Can I get samples? Can I get, a few pieces so that I could try it out? And it was just so difficult. I felt so rejected after that. But he taught me a lesson. He said to me, listen, after you do whatever you've done that I need, then come back to me. Okay, but make sure you get what, I'm looking for. And I walked away, and I didn't take it as personally as I thought I would have at the beginning of the meeting, because I saw how the meeting was going, and I saw that it wasn't going fantastic. Because I said, after all he wants is just the piece goods. He only wants me to show him what he needs. And if I show him something that he doesn't need, then it's no good for him. So I took away some of the personalization of it, some of the direction about me is I'm being rejected, as opposed to, well, situational. It's just the piece goods, right? He's just looking in order to put some pieces together, and he needs the actual material together, the colors, in order to do it. Now, in the fashion business, it's very simple, okay? The cosmetic business actually sets the tone for the colors for the next season, okay, for women's fashion. It's very interesting. And then the clothing manufacturers have to duplicate those cosmetic colors, and then the shoes complement that. So it's like, it's an entire business setting up almost a year in advance of knowing what color is going to be in the markets in a year from now. It's almost 6 months to a year that they work forward. It's very fascinating because, remember, they have to actually cut the fabrics, they have to put the garments together, they have to ship them, they have to get to the stores in time. And things just don't happen overnight, right? It takes at least 5 or 6 months between when you start designing it to when you're actually making it, to when you're shipping it and putting it together, right? So it's quite a fascinating business. Now, anyway, so going back to the story, and I felt really rejected by it, but this is the point, okay? Although I was rejected by it, I didn't feel rejected by it, because as long as I didn't personalize it, and as long as I stuck to exactly what was going on and not take it more than that, I was fine. I was good. I was able to show myself up again. And I think that that's a lot of situational rejections are overstated as a personal rejection and not as a situational rejection. And that's super important, because when you take it so personally, you kind of shut down. Now, the other thing is, when you get to that type of point, when you're rejecting, well, what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the situation? You have such an opportunity to really just say, hey, this guy just needed this, or this is what needed to be here next time, or this is how I should approach it next time. And that just makes you a better person. Now, that is a huge learning experience that you cannot duplicate. It's unfortunate it's the case, but we only learn from our failures. We only learn from things that we're not successful at, because when we do things that are successful, we kind of say, all right, we don't have that much emotional kind of introspection of saying, hey, what did I do right? I did right because I was successful. I did something right? So I don't have to introvertively get into myself and trying to analyze exactly what I did right. It's when we get something wrong that we really have to pay attention to what we didn't do right, in sort of that we could shift that and change it into something that we did right. Now, if you do this continuously, okay, now I'm not saying it's going to take away all the, sting from every type of rejection, but if you do that, if you kind of shift it and say, what can I learn from this opportunity? What can I do something else different next time? What have I learned? What have I learned about myself regards this situation? That makes you that much more powerful the next time you approach it. So try it out and let me know how it goes. Thank you for joining us for this Motivational Mondays. We'll see you here next week.